JUN-29-2020. I am so ready to get on to my yoga mat, and I hope you are too. If you have not, take a little time to arrange your space. As I've said in the past, I think there is a value to putting your yoga mat in roughly the same place when you practice, kind of setting an energy, or at least setting a precedent for how you move into the practice and how you move into this physical and mental, emotional space. Okay, so get your things, and today we're going to start in a seated position. I find that on days when for me, I haven't been on the mat for a couple days, and when I come back, the most helpful thing for me to do is just to go to what is familiar, to go to the routine that really gets me into this space. So I'm going to have us start in a comfortable cross-legged seated position. Perhaps up on some padding so that the weight of the legs can release downward. So we're trying to eliminate tensing in the inner thighs, in the front sides of the hips, allowing the outer hips to extend downward. Close your eyes and find a place to rest your hands. And then notice your tendencies for placing the hands down. Do you always turn the palms down? Do you turn the palms up? If you always do it one way, just notice what it might be like to do it the other way. And then consider if there is value to your routine. So maybe the hands go back the other way after a brief exploration of doing it a different way. If you have not already, close your eyes and arrive. Scan the physical body for sensation. Notice what you're feeling, where you're feeling. Maybe even consider adjectives you might use to describe what you're feeling. Then allow the mind to pause in those places that are calling for attention. Rather than addressing that area of discomfort or soreness with this thinking of like, oh, that pesky hip, or oh, that meddlesome knee. Go to those places with acceptance, with some idea of, okay, I will listen to that. I will consider that as I move through the rest of these shapes. Grow tall along your spine. You might even shrug your shoulders up towards your ears to lengthen the sides of the body before looping the shoulder blades together behind your heart. Chin parallel to the floor, lengthen along the back of the neck. Grow tall through the crown of the head. Feel the air of the room as it meets the exposed skin. There might be a sense of softness there as the edges of the physical being blur or soften, or even the idea of a aura surrounds you. is there tension present in the face, in the form of a furrowed brow, a clenched jaw? Soften the facial features as the gaze turns inward. Turn attention to breath. Breathe in and out through the nostrils, cultivating slow and deep breath. When you are ready, you may transition to the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, drawing a gentle contraction in at the back of your throat, turning up the volume of your breathing, using the sound as a tool to continuously draw your senses into the body and into the present moment. Notice the qualities of your breathing. Is your exhale longer than your inhale or vice versa? Are there places along the filling of the lungs where the breath catches? Does your exhale feel rocky or ragged? If so, with awareness, is it possible to start to smooth out the inhale? Try to create a steady intake of breath from the bottom of the lungs to the top of the lungs. A steady outpouring of breath from the top of the lungs to the bottom as you exhale. Last week we focused on the Ujjayi Pranayama breath technique with a 1-to-1 ratio. Today I'd like us to shift to the 1-to-2 ratio. So let's attempt this together for a few breaths, then I'll have you do a few breaths with a count that is specific to your capacity and your needs at this moment. So I'll give us a 4 to 8 count, and we'll go through this 3 times together. So empty your lungs, and then we're going to inhale together for 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill and hold for a moment with the lungs full, and then exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty. Maybe you draw in and up Mula Bandha, pelvic floor. And then again, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, fill and hold, exhale together, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more together with the 4 count. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, fill and hold with control, exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold yourself empty before resuming the next breath with a count that feels appropriate for you. Again, attempting the 1 to 2 ratio. Two more with your own count. Okay, bring your palms together in front of your heart. We will chant Om 3 times before beginning the moving practice. Exhale and inhale for Om. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Okay, take your arms up like football goalposts. Grow tall along your spine. Inhale and then exhale, start to twist the upper body to the left, keeping the legs and hips grounded, revolving around the central channel of your spine, using the abdominal muscles to start the revolution, start the twist from the floor, from the lower abdomen, the low back, and then across the ribs. Now bring the hands down. Right hand to left thigh, left hand behind. Grow broad across the chest. Shoulder blades hug to the back of the heart. And then use the pressure of the hand against the thigh, the pressure of the fingertips against the floor or the blanket, to move the upper body more deeply into this revolved shape. Again, check in with the expression on the face. Soften that expression as you turn the awareness internally. Notice what and where you are feeling. Let your mind be drawn to those places of sensation. Whether it be the low back, the upper back, the shoulders, the neck. Wherever it is, draw mind there, and how might you assist the movement of energy through those spaces with the assistance of your breath. Turn the right palm up, Extend the left arm along the left ear, reach up out of your left waistline, grow tall along the left side body, and then as you exhale next, gently lean over the right thigh. Again, we're starting without the pressure of the hands, so starting with awareness in the low back, the abdominal muscles shifting the right ribs forward, and then put the pressure of the hand against the thigh to draw the right shoulder forward as you take the gaze up beyond the left tricep muscles. Ground the left hip down, reach through the left fingertips, soften the edges of the mouth. Again, turn the awareness to the effects of this shape. Where are you feeling? What are you feeling? Draw attention there. Move breath through those spaces. Inhale, come back to center, hand down, back to front. Okay, arms up like football goalposts, palms forward. Revolve the chest towards the right wall, using the strength of the abdominal muscles, shoulder blades on the back. Again, starting from the bottom. Legs and hips stay rooted, chest stays lifted. Use the strength of the abdomen to revolve first the low back, and then bring hand to thigh, hand to floor. Press the palm against the thigh. Hug the right shoulder blade to the back of the chest, collarbones broad. And finally, maybe the head moves into the rotation. Chin parallel to the floor, gaze towards the back wall or over the right shoulder. Where are you feeling? What are you feeling? Let the sensation continually bring you deeper into an awareness of your body. Okay, turn the left palm up, pressure release. Right arm along the right ear, lift up out of the right waistline, and then lean the upper body at an angle over the left thigh. Keep the right hip tacked down. Use the abdominal muscles to twist the left low ribs, left side of the waistline forward, right side of the waistline, right side of the ribs back. And then take the hand to the thigh, pull the shoulder forward, look up beyond the right tricep muscles, reach through the right fingertips. Again, soften the face. Notice what and where you're feeling. Send awareness, send breath, move energy through the spaces that are calling for your attention. Inhale, come on back up through center, counter twist if you'd like. And then come forward off of your padding. Place the padding off to the side as we come to our familiar tabletop position. Wrists below the shoulders, spread fingers and palms, tuck the toes under, and let's move into cow with the inhale. Tailbone down, gaze lifts, contract the back body. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Belly button towards the ceiling, tailbone towards the floor. Open the space between the vertebrae and continue to move through these two shapes with your breath. Listening to sensation once again, noticing where it might be concentrated, and giving space to explore and perhaps experience something familiar in a new way. So this is I think why I use this sequence very often at the beginning of class, and why many instructors do, is because it really changes from day to day. So you can feel this predominantly in the low back, in the inner thighs, in and around the rib cage, the shoulders, the upper back. You might even feel this most acutely in the movement of the head and neck. And then based on what you are feeling and experiencing at this moment, what kind of modifications might you make to these movements? So the hips might be sent in big circles. You might bend the elbows down. You might hold the shape in cat or hold the shape in cow. And we'll come to a neutral spine. So from here, we're going to explore the explorer pose. So the left leg is going to send straight back, knee and toes point down. Engage the left leg so that the kneecap lifts. Look forward as you reach forward with the right arm. Extend through the heel, extend through the heart and the fingertips, and in the middle have that awareness of strength and stability at your center. Again, notice any tension in the face. Where is it pooling? Can you soften in those spaces as you turn the gaze to the inner experience of the body? And then hand down, knee down, second side, right leg extends back, knee and toes point down, left arm reaches forward, hips even, shoulders even, heel back, right leg toned, strong, left arm forward, reaching forward, looking forward, and in the middle there's an awareness, there's a stability. And hand down, knee back down. Okay, walk the knees back about 6 inches. We're going to do puppy dog pose. I like to grab the outside of my mat. So you can either keep the palms on the mat or grab the outer edges of the mat if you'd like. Turn the tailbone up as though you're doing cow pose. The inner thighs spiraling back and apart to create broadness across the back side of the pelvis. Look forward as you tilt your head up and then start to walk the upper body down and forward, either extending through the fingertips or pulling the edges of the mat away from the body. Lower the chin down, down towards or to the mat. Shoulder blades together, contracting the upper back, and then shoulder blades away from the ears. Again, arrive in this shape, arrive with sensation. Notice what and where you're feeling. And now slide forward onto your belly. Chin on the floor, arms at your sides, heads of the arm bones roll forward. Relax the legs for a moment so the heels are wide, the toes are together. Now keep the right leg relaxed as you activate the left leg. Point through the toes and then press the top of the foot down till you really feel the engagement of your left quadricep muscles and the left kneecap is pulling away from or off of the mat. Keep that engagement and then begin to lift the leg. So you're making it strong, you're making it long, now you're lifting it off of the floor with the front of the left hip grounded. Extend and lift. And then release the left leg down. Allow the heel to widen out to one side. Point the right toes back, ground the front of the foot. Tone the muscles of the leg, so make the leg strong, make the leg long, and then lift the leg. Keep the front of the right hip point grounded, extend and lift, using the strength of the back body to lift the legs. And right leg down. Press the tops of both feet into the floor so that the muscles of the leg muscles tone and the kneecaps lift. Now squeeze the legs together. Long, strong legs, and then lift the legs. Keeping the front of the hip points grounded. Extend and lift, and release both legs down. heels widen apart. You might swish your hips back and forth a little bit to release through the low back. Okay, all 10 toes point back. Place the feet hip width distance. Tone the muscles of the legs. Lift the kneecaps. Lengthen the tailbone back. And we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Wrap the elbows towards the ceiling as you hug your shoulder blades together behind the heart. And now inhale to gently peel the chin and chest away from the floor. Reach back through the knuckles. Lift the arms. Broaden the collarbones. Expand the heart forward. Keep the feet actively grounded. Lengthen back through the tailbone. Use the strength of the back body to lift and open the chest. Take note here which thumb is in front. And then slowly lower down, arms back to your sides. Turn your right cheek to the floor. Take your gaze to the edge of your own mat. Soft gaze, heavy head. Release tension from the neck, the upper back. Transition into this shape. Not only physically are you moving into this shape, but consider that you can arrive, there's an opportunity to embrace the breath in this moment, to embrace this idea of just releasing the body into the mat. I notice that is done gradually. With each breath, there's an opportunity to feel the body way down. Or you might experience that as feel the body become lighter. Okay, chin back to the floor. Point the toes, tone the legs. This time squeeze the legs together. Lift the kneecaps. Opposite thumb in front as you interlace the fingers behind your back. Elbows towards the ceiling. Hug the shoulder blades. Inhale. Peel the chin and chest. Feet, lower thighs, upper thighs, middle thighs, upper thighs away from the floor. Use the strength of the back body to slowly lift up. Soften the edges of the mouth again, so neutral expression on the face. Tone the legs, lengthen the legs, lift the legs. And release. Left cheek to the floor, arms at your sides, heads of the arm bones forward, eyes soft or even closed, big toes touch, heels widen apart. Again, opportunity to arrive with the breath, arrive in this shape of being supported. Passive physical presence. And from here, we're going to bring the chin to the floor. Left arm straight out like a wing. Look to the left thumb and line your thumb up with your gaze. Keeping the arm where it is, turn the left cheek back to the floor, right fingertips on the floor, and just slowly start to roll onto your left side. So stacking the hips. If you have a block or a blanket handy, it might feel nice to prop the head onto some height as we connect with the left shoulder. So, is it simply a matter of getting the shoulders and the hips stacked to create a lot of sensation and bring a lot of attention to the left shoulder, maybe even the left intercostal muscles? Or if you're not feeling much of anything yet, you might bring your right foot to the floor behind you. Right hip melting down towards the floor. Again, if this isn't doing it for you, you can continue to bring the hips down by bringing the left knee towards the seat, or bending the left knee, heel towards the hip. You can even swing that right arm back and try to clasp fingers. But again, we're using the poses to bring ourselves into our bodies, bring ourselves into the moment. We're not using our bodies to create some, we're not really our focus is inward, not what the pose looks like or how deep the expression needs to look. So whatever shape you've created, allow your attention to move to those places that are feeling particularly affected by this shape. And then the idea that prana can move with the breath through those spaces. Perhaps with the idea of awareness, with the idea of acceptance, perhaps even with the idea of release. Okay, let's roll back onto our stomachs, and we're going to do the second side. So keep the gaze looking right, align the right thumb with the gaze, and then turn the other cheek to the floor, right cheek to the mat. Left fingertips push into the floor as you stack the left shoulder, left hip on top of the right side. So again, we're moving into this shape gradually. So take a breath or two at each iteration of the shape. Find out if there's something to be learned here, something to be experienced here, and if you need more from this time. So left foot could come down, and really listen. That's one thing with a pose like this, especially, where I think that a lot of people find incongruency between the left and right sides. So be listening and treat each side as it's telling you that it needs to be treated. So just because you reach a certain expression of the pose on one side doesn't mean that's necessarily appropriate for the second side. So again, you might bring the right foot down, you might swing the left arm to stack on top of the right arm. Whatever shape you have found yourself in, return to breath and body. Okay, return onto your belly, chin on the floor. Place your wrists by your ribs, tuck your toes under, strengthen the legs, lift the kneecaps, shoulder blades hug to the back of the heart. And as you exhale next, push up from the earth to a plank position. Inhale and plank, and exhale, make your way back to our first downward facing dog. Turn the hands out slightly so that the space between the middle and index finger is pointing straight ahead, pushing the hands strongly down and forward as you shift the hips up and back, possibly walking out the dog as the hips shift from side to side. Again, this idea of listening to the body and responding to those spaces that need attention. So I always refer to this idea of one leg being tighter or shorter than the other. Do you find that to be the case today? If so, do you give more attention, more energy to that tighter, shorter leg in service of seeking more balance? Okay, as you are ready, come back to a neutral dog pose. Both hands pushing down and forward with equal force, both hips reaching up and back at the same rates. Knees can remain bent or heels can extend down. And inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, drop through the sides of the waistline, push up into plank. Exhale, hips go back. We're going to do 4 more. And you may come to your knees for our push-up sequence. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, push up. Exhale, hips lead you back 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 3. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 4. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 5. Inhale, left leg lifts. Look to the top of the mat, and with your exhale, lunge your left foot between your hands. Set up on fingertips on either side of your front foot, and then look back at your right leg. Step the right foot forward maybe 8 inches to a foot, and turn your right toes at an angle towards the right corner of your mat, top right corner of your mat. Scissor your legs together, hands to hips, draw back through the sides of the waistline, and slowly come up into the Warrior 2 stance, Warrior 1 stance. So I was mentioning to my Zoom group earlier that I don't teach this one often, and honestly, I think I don't teach it often because the external expression of this pose I don't feel is particularly pleasing to me. So I do think it's hard to get out of the appreciation of what some of these poses look like, when some of these poses can have very a pleasing expression to them, the way that they look. So anyway, I am appreciating in this moment how this stance offers something interesting and different than a lot of the other standing poses stances do. So a particular challenge here, I feel, is to get the lower back to extend down. So to lift the front of the hip points and lengthen the lower back as you try to square the chest forward. Also attempting to ground the outer edge of the back foot. Where does that bring the sensation in the right leg? Attempt to shift weight forward. What sensation does that create? And as the momentum of the pose moves forward, can you start to pull back to the right leg, to the left heel? Arms at your sides, shoulders roll back, palms turn forward. Gaze is forward, face is soft. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Palms face one another, or you might attempt to bring palms together. You might do both. Notice which is preferable. If you have the palms together, what does it feel like to reach up through the fingertips as you press the palms into one another? Biceps back, low ribs in and back, lifting through the front of the hip points, wrapping the right outer hip forward somewhat as you sit deeply into the front thigh. Soften the breath. Notice what and where you're feeling. Slowly start to straighten the left leg. Take the hands to the hips. Roll the shoulders back. Possibly even take the gaze up as you lengthen along the front of the torso. Exhale, hinge at the hips. bringing the chest parallel to the floor. Ground through the left big toe, lift into the left kneecap, pull back through the left outer hip. Either choose to stay here with hands on the hips or frame the front leg with the fingertips on the floor. Or if you have blocks available, fingertips can come up onto blocks. Choose to stay here or drape the body, drape the torso over the right leg, rounding the upper back as we come into pyramid pose. Again, engage the left quadricep muscles so as to create that sensation of Janu Bandha, or the knee lock, without thrusting the knee back to lock it out. Again, bring awareness to sensation and move awareness with the breath through the affected areas of the pose. Okay, if your hands are not on your hips, bring the hands to the hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline, hips and chest squared forward, bend the front knee, frame the front foot, step back, downward facing dog, walk it out. We will do our second set of 5 push-ups now. Inhale, forward to plank, exhale, lower with control, possibly coming to the knees. Inhale, press up, exhale, back 1. Inhale, forward, exhale, lower. Inhale, press, exhale, back 2. Inhale, forward, exhale, lower. Inhale, press, exhale, back 3. Inhale, forward, exhale, lower. Inhale, press, exhale, back 4. Last one, best one. Inhale, forward, exhale, lower. Inhale, press, exhale, back 5. Inhale, lifts the right leg. Look to the top of the mat. Exhale, lunge the right foot forward. Frame the front foot with the fingertips and then step the left foot forward 8 to 12 inches. Turn the left toes out at an angle. Ground the left heel to the best of your ability as you pull up the left kneecap. Hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline. Square the chest forward and start to square the hips, although they are not going to square forward in this particular shape. But there's this idea of lifting along the front of the pelvic crest, lengthening down through the tailbone and engagement of the abdominal muscles. Ground, attempt to ground through the back outer edge of the foot as you pull the tight stocking up the left leg. Shift momentum of the pose forward, bending the knee deeper, and then pull back to the left foot, to the right heel. Arms at the sides, palms forward, shoulders roll back. Inhale, sweep the arms out, up, and overhead. Okay. Hands apart, palms turn towards one another, or palms together. Reach up through the fingertips either way. If the hands are together, press palms together. Wrap left ribs forward, right ribs back, lower ribs in and back. Be present with the sensations of this posture. Where is your mind drawn? Find a posture where you can continue to breathe. Always be breathing. Straighten the right leg, hands to hips, elbows point back. Lift the chin, lengthen along the torso. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Press down through the right big toe, pull up through the right kneecap, draw back through the right outer hip. Notice the back of the right leg. Stay here, or hands to the blocks or floor on either side of the right foot. Pull up the right knee, ground through the right big toe ball mount. Ground through the left outer edge of the foot, lift into the left kneecap. Choose to stay or round the upper body over the right leg. Hands can be on blocks, they can walk forward. Come back to the breath and move the breath through the body. Okay, hands to the hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline to come up. Bend the right knee, frame the front foot, send it back, downward facing dog. Reacquaint with your dog. And get ready for our third and final set of push-ups. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower down, possibly to the knees. Inhale, drop through the sides of the waistline. Exhale, back, downward facing dog 1. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 3. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 4. Last one. Last one, final set. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back 5. And inhale to come forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Lift the legs one at a time. Press the feet down. Engage the legs. Lift the kneecaps. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Shoulder blades on the back. Inhale, curl the front body off of the floor. Reach the knuckles back. Expand the heart forward. Side to neck back. Crown of the head lifts. Press the feet down. Lift the kneecaps up. Strengthen the back body. Open the front body. Soften the edges of the mouth. Exhale, lower down. Right cheek to the floor. Arms at your sides. Big toes touch. Heels wind apart. Head heavy. Neck soft. Return to this shape, this moment, this breath. And then it changes. Chin back to the floor. Point the toes. Squeeze the legs. Lift the kneecaps. Interlace the fingers with the opposite thumb in front. Elbows towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades on the back. Inhale. Feet, thighs, chin, chest. Slowly take off. Reach back through the knuckles. Reach forward through the heart. Collarbones broad. Legs toning. Legs reaching. Legs lifting. Soften the face. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower. Big toes touch. Left cheek down. Head to the arm bones forward. Head heavy. Neck soft. Arms heavy. Upper back broad. This pose, this breath, this moment. Chin to the floor, tuck your toes, grab the outer edges of your mat, send the hips up and back, puppy dog pose. Tailbone tilts towards the ceiling, chin reaches forward, hands pull the mat away or hands push down and away. Notice your preference, come back to this shape, puppy dog. Inner thighs widening back and apart, shoulder blades hugging the back of the heart. Heart melting down, chin towards or to the mat. And then once again, downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat, bend the knees, lift through the sides of the waistline, shift the shoulders forward a couple of inches, weight in the hands, and exhale. Arrive at the top of your mat. In a forward fold with the feet hip width distance apart, bend the knees, rest the torso on the thighs, allow the upper body to hang forward, taking hold of opposite wrist, forearms, or biceps. Begin your movement here. The movement that is to help you release, to help you move into this moment, move into this, this release of the upper body. Maybe hips shift from side to side, weight shifts from left to right, front to back, sides of the feet. Arms sway, head shakes yes and no, identifying tension. Finding some acceptance around what is. What exists in your body in this shape. And then the invitation of breath to those spaces, through those spaces. Fingertips back to the floor. Press the feet down, lengthen along the backs of the legs, lengthen down through the crown of the head. Keep the sides of the neck long, shoulders up away from the ears. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, lengthen the spine, shoulder blades on the back, exhale and fold in. Head low, hips high. 2 more times, half lift, inhale, fingertips to the shins, exhale and fold. Last one, inhale, lift halfway, and exhale, fold deeply in. Okay, we're gonna try something different today. I'm gonna walk back so there's enough room in front of me. So come up with the fingertips on the shins, lift into the kneecaps, press the feet down, look forward and reach the arms straight ahead. Now inhale to come up. Come all the way up, reach up through the fingertips, ground through the feet. Exhale, fold forward. Arms out in front, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, arms out and forward, press down through the feet, lift into the kneecaps, come all the way up. If this is painful or if this is painful for the low back, don't do it. Come back to the arms out, up and overhead approach. Exhale, arms forward and down. Head releases, fingertips to the floor at the bottom. Inhale, arms out, up, and overhead. Root through the tailbone, lengthen through the fingertips, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Roll the shoulders back in Tadasana. Arrive with your mountain. Embody the mountain, growing tall, growing strong, solid, expansive. Infuse the posture with breath. Let the mind traverse the body in this shape. Engage in those places that need attention. Release in those spaces that where tension is held unnecessarily or unwantedly. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, arms forward as you flow forward. Fingertips to the floor, release your head down. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, head down, fingertips down. Inhale, sweep the arms out, up and overhead, rise to stand. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. Inhale, arms out and over, forward and overhead. Exhale, flow forward, arms forward, fingertips to the floor, release the head. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, arms sweep forward, arms reaching by the ears as you grow tall. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Okay, just doing familiar things with minor variations, noticing how just something subtle can really change the experience of the pose. So we're going to do a awkward chair flow. So you may want to have a block between your thighs for this sequence. Otherwise, feet and knees come together. I've been enjoying the block between the thighs just for a change of pace. Okay, ground down through the feet, lift into the kneecaps, roll the shoulders back, sweep the arms forward and up as you inhale. Exhale, listen, flow forward, arms forward, fingertips down. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms sweep up by the ears. Exhale, bend the knees forward, sit down into your chair. Inhale and chair. Exhale and chair, weight in the heels. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, flow forward, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, flow forward, fingertips and head down. Inhale, sweep arms forward and up, reach up. Exhale, sink the hips low. Sit in the chair for a full breath. Inhale, gaze up, reach up, hips low. Exhale, weight in the heels, squeeze the block or knees and ankles. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, arms sweep forward, reach up, possibly look up. Exhale, flat back, flow forward, head down, fingertips down. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, arms sweep forward, reach up, look up. Exhale, sink the hips down. Sit into your imaginary chair. Push through awkward to fierce. Weight in the heels. Squeeze whatever you're squeezing. Look up, reach up, curl up. Breathe here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides, shoulders roll back. Remove the block. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, left arm underneath the right arm. Palms touch. Lift elbows up, pull elbows down, excuse me. Grab hands or shoulders. Sit down. I'm still confused about trying to do this the opposite way. So left arm is underneath. So I'm going to say shift weight to the left leg, lift the right leg up. Coming to eagle pose. Elbows down, chest up and back. Sit weight into the hips. Either keep the legs crossed simply or wrap the left foot behind the right ankle. Right foot behind the left ankle, excuse me. Elbows down, chest lifts, upper body back. Arms and legs wrapped tightly around one another. Opening up the wrists, elbows, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. Soft gaze, again, soften the face. Again, always breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwind. Right foot down, arms sweep overhead, reach up. Exhale, right arm underneath the left. Palms touch or shoulders. Elbows down, chest lifts, sink weight into the heels as the hips move into the imaginary stool. Left leg lifts, point the toes. Sink the hips down, weight in the heel, elbows down, upper body back. Experiment with wrapping the foot. If it feels unsafe for the knees, I would suggest not doing something that feels unsafe. Elbows down, chest lifts up and back, sink weight into the hips, into the heel, wrapping arms and legs, opening up wrists, elbows, shoulders, hips, heels for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Unwind. Sweep the arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands down, arms by your sides, palms forward. Again, arrive in your mountain, in your strength, in your stability, in your expansiveness. Okay, we will move into our wide-legged forward fold. So have your props in front of you. We're gonna grab the wrist behind the back today for a slight variation of the shape. Have the feet wide apart, toes turned in slightly. Tone the muscles up the legs as though pulling on tight stockings. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Roll the shoulders back, elbows in and back. Lengthen the knuckles down as you lift the gaze and heart skyward. Lengthen along the front of the torso. Keep the legs toning, kneecaps lifting, outer edges of the feet grounded. And then exhale, hinge at the hips to a halfway position. Chest parallel to the floor. Okay, push the thigh bones back, lift the kneecaps up, ground through the outer edges of the feet, and then exhale, fold the rest of the way forward, perhaps sweeping the arms overhead. So maybe the head is grounded, maybe the head is far from grounded. You might take a moment to unleash your bind to get some height underneath the head in the form of a blanket, a block, a series of props. And then once again, interlace the fingers, sweep the arms overhead. Without the hands on the floor, notice the challenge of getting the head grounded. I'm noticing that challenge. Work with your props, see what's most effective. So I was having a hard time getting my head onto the right height, so I even walked my feet closer together to get my head a little further from the floor to get the right height underneath there. So be an explorer rather than being attached to the outcome. Be on the journey to the into the shape. Because you may be looking for one thing. You may have your sights on one thing, and then along the way you find something else. I'm sure there's a good Bob Dylan quote about that. It's not coming to me right now. Let me think about it for a second. So yeah, maybe doing the idea that I'm threading through the practice lately is this idea of doing familiar things in a new way, just diving into the depths of what seems mundane, what may seem monotonous. Okay, unleash the fingers. And we will do a twist here. So bring the right hand below the face, left hand to your imaginary cup of milk at the low back. I don't know why it was milk today. Milk just spilled out of my mouth. Okay, right ribs towards the left. Lengthen the spine, revolve around that central channel. Left hand can either stay with your glass of milk or reach up to the ceiling, or palm can turn back and you can try to bind with the left hand around the front of the right hip. Look down, left hand below the face, right hand to the glass of milk. Don't spill the milk as you revolve the left ribs towards the right. Lift into the kneecaps, push back through the thigh bones, lengthen through the crown of the head. Right hand may go up, may stay, or attempt to bind, fingertips around the front of the left thigh, giving you an opportunity to hug the right shoulder blade deeply onto the back of the chest with that grip. And then slowly come back through center. Hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, chin lifted as you rise back up. Heel toe your feet together until your feet are about hip width. Kick your butt. Kick your butt a few times, side to side. Okay, left foot grounds, arms loose at your sides, swing the right leg forward. So again, start with the right leg. I've been consistently starting with the left leg, but for this one, right leg it is. So just build some momentum slowly. So start with small movements, maybe get bigger, maybe you start kicking, swinging the leg with reckless abandon till, you accidentally kick down a potted plant or something. Sorry, plant. Okay, right leg to the floor. Ground the right foot. Swing gradually the left leg. First, you're just passing the soccer ball to your friend who's a couple feet away. Then you're kicking the ball down the entire length of the field. Better analogy than destroying your house by kicking so hard. Okay, foot back down when you're ready. Do a couple hula hoop moves. One direction, other direction. Loosen it up. Okay, Monday group. Let's do our inversion. So I'm going to continue to offer handstand because I would like to offer some consistency. I know for years, my Monday morning people, we were doing headstands. So if headstands is more consistent, more what you want to be doing right now, then please do a headstand. Otherwise, if you would like to continue this practice, this more recent practice of L at the wall and kicking up into handstand, join me on this journey. Okay, so feet at the wall, legs straight, hands on either side of the hips. With the hands here, I'm going to just keep this idea of where the hands are, and then flip around and put the opposite hand put the right where left was, left where right was, coming into a short tabletop with my heels at the wall. Creating a good foundation with the hands, or what feels like a stable foundation with the hands by spreading the fingers, rooting through the knuckles of the fingers, and trying not to put all of the weight of my body into my wrists. Okay, tuck the toes, lift the hips, coming now to a short dog pose with heels at the wall. Gazing between my hands as I start to lift the feet or walk the feet up the wall. So I always do this pose that almost everybody comes to their first attempt at this, which is more of a plank at the wall. Obviously still a strength building pose, but we're trying to mimic the alignment of handstand by bringing the feet down to hip height and situating the hips over the shoulders over the wrists. So that place is likely to be the most awkward, the most challenging place you could get to. And as I've said before, for whatever reason, this pose is more challenging than actually holding a handstand if you can get up into a handstand. But this pose is more accessible to get into and more accessible to get out of. Because when your arms feel like rubber, then simply walk your feet back down to the floor. Sit the hips towards the heels. You might release the arms for a moment by extending them forward and coming into some form of child's pose. So taking that counter pose or that easeful exit from our inversion. I am prone to dizziness, that feeling of low blood pressure when moving from a inverted position to an upright position. So So if you've had that experience, this is a very helpful stopping point, not just for those of us who've experienced that, but I think for the reorientation of the circulation for everybody. Okay, so and also just an opportunity to reflect on the after effects of the inversion, the after effects of your physical endeavor, your physical effort. And from here, we are going to attempt to kick up to the wall. So I'll give you many options for this, starting with the most, probably the introductory way of getting into a handstand against the wall. So we're going to, once again, come to a tabletop with spread fingers, hands turned out slightly, rooting through the knuckles, attempting to shift weight out of the wrists. So the squishier the surface you're working on, like if you have grass or carpeting beneath your mat, that tendency to shift into the wrist is going to be even stronger. Okay, so we're going to come up into a downward dog, look between the hands, walk the feet forward. Then step one foot towards center. I'm stepping the right foot towards center first, lifting the left leg straight up and back. And then just doing a little hopping motion, shifting the weight out of the foot into the hands as I root through the knuckles. Keeping the gaze between the hands, possibly kicking with enough vigor so that the heels can come to the wall. Shoulders, hips over shoulders, shoulders over wrists. Gaze between the hands. Push the earth away. And we'll do the second side. So right foot towards center, left foot towards center, right leg lifts. Look between the hands. Actively ground through the hands. Keep the arms strong without locking out the elbows. And then, start with the little kicks. Start from where you are. It's the only place you have to start from. And kick to the wall if possible. Squeeze the legs, lengthen the tailbone up, push the hands down. Maybe experience balance for a moment. Maybe extend that moment to 2 moments. And when you're ready, whether you're in a handstand, a headstand, a downward facing dog, come into a child's pose. Let's reacquaint ourselves with this restive shape, this physical turning in. So often the shapes that, the forward folding shapes where we are turning our face in towards our own bodies, becoming aware of the opening, the lengthening, the exposure of the back sides of our body. Reacquaint with breath. And as you reacquaint, invite more air with your next inhale. Attempt to empty the lungs more fully with your next exhale. And gradually build the breath back to fullness. Let the arms be heavy and released. Feeling residual sensation in the arms. Perhaps a lightness, perhaps a heaviness, perhaps a sense of strength or fatigue. And can we observe this moment? Can we observe these arms? Can we observe this body? Can we ascribe words or adjectives to our sensation without the
the ideas of right and wrong or good and bad. Okay, arms extend back. Heads of the arm bones release forward. You might feel the upper back broaden with this shift of the arms. You might feel the face squish down into the floor. So if so, adjust for comfort.
Slowly curl up along the spine. Make your way into a kneeling shape. Point the toes back, hands to your yoga pants back pockets. Always a little joke, rarely do yoga pants have back pockets. Okay, tailbone lengthens down, shoulders roll back, heart opens, gaze turns up. And habit this space. So likely you're anticipating moving back into camel, which is exactly what we will be doing. But allow yourself to arrive in this moment. Maybe there's something to be found, something to be discovered and experienced here that's worth seeing more than just a stopping point or a means to an end. From here, if you'd like, start to lift the heart higher, curl back, take the gaze back, keep the hips over the knees. Perhaps hands come to heels, thumbs turn out, fingertips curl in. Perhaps the head stays suspended or the head goes back. Find your camel. And then upon arrival in this particular expression, what are you feeling? Where are you feeling? Are you breathing? Hands back to the hips, hips forward, chest forward, shoulders forward, head comes up last. Knees together, feet together, settle your hips towards or to your heels. You can even put a prop between your hips and heels. Neutralizing the spine. Head over heart, heart over hips. Shoulder blades on the back, shoulder blades down the back. Again, take some breaths in this neutralizing posture. Feeling the residual effects of the shape, the immediate shape that we just did, and the cumulative effects of the practice so far. And we will do one more camel or a back bend of your choice. So again, choice being a key term here. So again, the hands could start in the back pockets and stay there. Another option would be to take this familiar interlace of the fingers behind the back and curl back with that configuration. Again, be on the journey as you move into the expression of this shape. You might find that there is value in just the initial actions, the initial movements here. You may take the hands to the heels. You may take the arms overhead and go all the way back, trying to touch down. If you know full pigeon pose, you might be in the mood for that. Feel the opening of the front body. So the energizing pose as we expose the heart, we expose the front body, moving into the space behind us, the unseen. As you're ready, hands to hips. Hips forward, chest forward, shoulders forward, head comes up last. Fingertips to the mat, knees together, hips to the heels. Again, find your neutral. Hinge at the hips, slowly fold over the thighs, supporting the upper body with the arms as you come back into a version of child's pose. Okay, if it feels safe for the low back, be mindful of movement into this shape. If it feels too extreme coming from the back bend, we're going to move into rabbit pose. These poses are often done in sequence. I would equate the similarities to moving from cat to cow with more extreme movement into each shape. So sweep your arms back to grab the heels from the outside. Curl your upper back to move your forehead towards your knees. And then keep a good grip on your heels as you lift your hips high into the air. So there's the arms are being pulled taut as the hips push up, and the space between the vertebra along the back side of the body is now opening in this deep forward folded shape. Allow the pressure of the hands, the feet against the hands, to pull the shoulders forward and away from one another. Slowly lower the hips down, press the hands down to come back up to a neutral spine, shoulder blades down the back. Gaze forward, neutralizing the spine between our rabbit pose in the same manner we did between our camel poses. Return to the breath. Notice if you weren't. And again, ease your way forward, folding over the thighs, forehead towards or to the mat. Sweep the arms back, grab the outside edges of the heels, and then round the upper back, chin to chest, forehead towards or to the knees. Kick the feet into the hands, gripping the hands strongly as the hips lift. As you exhale, pull the belly button in towards the spine, pulling the belly button away from the thighs. Arms are pulled tight, shoulder blades widen apart. Lower the hips, walk up to your rock pose, your neutralizing spine shape. Reconnect with breath, settle down through the hips, swing the legs forward, and gently make your way to lie on your back. Knees bend, feet on the floor. Hug your left knee in and up towards your left armpit. Squeeze it in. And then shift into half happy baby. Bringing the sole of the feet open to the ceiling, interlace the fingers around the left foot. Kick the foot into the hand as you pull the knee down. So there's a push and a pull, push and a pull. Either choose to stay in this configuration or the right leg may reach out in front of you. The heel may attempt to come down, the calf might attempt to bring the calf down. Again, be sensitive where there's a lot of, even in a lead class, there is a lot of decision making as a practitioner of how you are most effectively, most safely expressing the postures for yourself. And those boundaries sometimes they are hard to make those decisions, but again, it might be helpful to back away from the idea that there is a good and bad way to do the pose, or good and bad way, a right and wrong way for you to practice on any given day. That your body and your practice will look different from day to day, and if we can approach each practice with that awareness and acceptance around that, it might be easier. We might find it easier to make decisions around the expression of each pose. Okay. Always talking from my own experience. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Right thigh into the chest. Interlace the fingers behind the thigh in front of the shin. Widen the left knee away, possibly bringing the shin in closer. Targeting the left hip. And then that kind of what I was saying about how you decide what is the appropriate expression for you, or when it's appropriate to take a break or to go push harder. Those decisions might be helped by setting a very clear intention for the practice, of the way you want to practice, or the purpose of your practice. Because perhaps the purpose, you could come to the mat, your purpose for the practice could just be to be very, very actively, very intentionally trying to push your limits. Right foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. Right knee in and up towards the right armpit. Interlace the fingers, hug the knee in and up. Squeeze it in. Then grab the foot inside and outside. Push the foot into the hands, pull the knee down, push and pull. And again, an opportunity to decide to extend the left leg straight. So I bring that up now because this is specifically an area where I'm questioning whether creating more sensation in this pose is injurious, or whether it is helping to alleviate pain and tension that I'm experiencing. So that can be a difficult question to answer as an instructor and as a practitioner, whether pushing harder is helping or hurting. And maybe we learn those lessons over time, and the answer is not always the same, not always clear. Left foot to the floor. Flex the right foot. Place the ankle over the thigh. Draw the left thigh into the chest. Again, making this figure four shape, targeting the right outer hip. Bringing the shin as close to the chest as necessary to get that sensation in the right outer hip. down, other foot down, knees in and up towards the armpits. Let's take full happy baby pose. Grabbing the right foot with the right hand, outside the left foot with the left hand. Rock side to side. Inner feet together, interlace the fingers, widen the knees apart, flatten the back body against the floor, extend through the inner thighs. And finally, release the feet, hug the knees together, wrap the arms around the fronts of the legs, and give yourself a hug. Embrace yourself, embrace the effort that you've made. Tuck your chin to your chest, pull your forehead towards or to the knees, squeeze the legs together, tuck the tailbone, draw into a small, tight space, and then let it go. Expand out on your mat and find the appropriate support. So I used to really be a little bit anxious to get into Savasana, like not taking the time to get those creature comforts around me that might help me feel more safe, more grounded in this shape. So I invite you to take that time to get those things that are going to help you arrive in this space for Savasana. So it might be you like to put on your socks. It might be a blankie. It might be a specific restorative shape that is most supportive for you at this time. So take the time to make those things happen. So by giving ourselves this preparatory time, I think that it really gives more importance and more weight to this time, and it might help us to arrive here more fully. So when you're ready, find your Savasana, whether it be legs up the wall, goddess pose, or arms and legs extended at your sides. Arrive with your breath and arrive with the body. Send attention to the toes, the soles of the feet. And as your awareness resides there, take note of any discomfort, tension, gripping, holding that might be present in that area. And then if it's possible, let it go. If not possible, just let it be. Awareness moves from the feet up the ankles, listening to the body, noticing those places where gripping or tension may be residing unconsciously up to this point. Allow each part of the legs to be seen, to be felt. And having given that acknowledgement, just invite the possibility of release. Again, release might feel like heaviness. It might feel like lightness. Awareness in the lower body, the pelvic region. Awareness of tension. Acceptance of tension. A release if possible. Moving up the low back. Moving up the torso. Listening. Noticing. Accepting what is. Now to the fingers of both hands. Now to the palms, wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms. Acknowledgement, acceptance. Across the shoulder blades, the collarbones, up the throat, the neck, back the skull, the hairline, the forehead, facial features, aware of the physical body, without activity. Conscious rest. gradually begin to move the extremities of your physical being, arms and legs, head and neck. Bend the knees, extend your left arm, roll to your left side. Transitioning from our Savasana to our child's pose. Re-emerging from the practice. Keep your eyes closed as you find a seated shape. Feel the connection between your body and the earth through the legs and hips, and from that connection grow tall along the length of your spine. Hands onto heart. Connect with breath. Exhale and inhale for the single sound of Om. Thank you for your presence, your patience, your focus and attention throughout the course of this morning's practice. I said to those of you I spoke to earlier, this is like the anchor of my week, so I really appreciate you sharing this time with me. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Yeah, sorry if you had to, well, if you're here now, you didn't have to leave, but sorry for going over time. Once I got here, I just couldn't leave. So yeah, thank you for those of you who I got to talk to earlier, and let me know if there is anything you would like to focus on, breath work, or breath that you really like that we haven't done in a while, or a pose that you would like to explore more of, or just an area of the body that generally needs more attention. Perhaps there's the whole thing that I'm just forgetting about. Maybe I forgot about a whole body part. Anyway, please reach out, stay in touch. I love to hear from you. Send me photos, send me criticisms, witticisms. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I'll be here next day, tomorrow day, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern Time. There is talk of a Brownstone family road trip. I will try to keep posted on the website, and for those of you who have your phone numbers, I'll let you know if anything strays from the usual weekly schedule. Okay, love you guys.